Okay. All right. So let's look at the transcript. Speaker 1. Okay. I'll read. So I'll read it out for you, and then you look at the answer again. I think that even up until just a few years ago, we could never have imagined how our behavior would change with regards to. I think you should read because it's speaking class. You should read. Can you read?
Okay. I think that even until just a few years ago, we could never have imagined how our behavior would change with regards to using mobiles and tablets. I know that I would find it incredibly difficult to live without my phone and my mobile. I'm constantly looking at my phones to see if I've got any new message or updates and checking my apps to see what's new. I wouldn't say that I post my life online, not like some people I know, but I do like to keep up with what people are up to, friends, family, and even other people I know but maybe haven't seen for years, like old school friends, and check out photos of what they look like now. Ha ha ha.
Okay. So here, incredibly difficult means super difficult to live without mobile phone. So because your answer, you choose, where is it? This, you choose G, right? It's quite happy for any photos of them to be posted online. Do you think this is the answer as you read just now?
No,
Does he say he's happy?
no.
No, right? He doesn't say he's happy, right? He say at least he's not posting his whole life online, but unlike other people, but he like to keep up with what they are doing and also catch up with friends, and also check out photos of what they look like, right? Correct or not? And also he mentioned about we could ever imagine how our behavior would change with regards to using mobile tablets. Okay. And also, yeah, so it says that up until now, a few years ago until now, right? There's some changes. So you can see here, if you choose C, right, has witnessed a great change in the way we communicate over recent years. So C is the answer. So does it make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, okay, how about speaker 2? What's your answer?
E. Elephant
Okay,
E.
yes, correct. Vicious people would talk more in person. Good job. Okay, how about speaker 3?
A.
Yes, correct. Has learned recently about some of the negative effects of excessive online communication. Do you understand what's the meaning of excessive?
Means 过多.
Yes, 过多过度. Okay. All right. So how about speaker? So this one is speaker 3, right? Speaker 4.
G.
Which one?
G.
Giraffe again.
Yeah,
Giraffe.
because yeah,
Giraffe again.
because
Okay, let's look at
my
D.
because actually
Okay.
I choose C for number 4.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's look at speaker 4. Okay, I want you to read out this one. My generation.
My generation is so different to my parents. I mean, they are always telling me that they grew up in a world without mobiles and social networking, and they managed fine. Hard to imagine how they arranged to meet their friends without a phone, but they say they did. Oh, I had so many arguments with them while I was growing up until they let me have my first smartphone, but they didn't let me have Snapchat or Instagrams or anything like that. It is not the end of the world, they say. They just didn't understand that that is the way people my age communicate with each other. Nobody actually talks on the phones anymore. They have no idea how much I miss out on at school being the only one who didn't have Snapchat. Also, at school, we had loads of talks and stuff on how to stay safe online. And most of us knew that everything you post online was going to be there forever.
Okay, so do you understand what the speaker is trying to say? You understand,
Yes,
right? So it's basically speaker 4 has a kind of like argument with the older generations. The older generations think that living without mobile phone is okay, all right? But for them, for speaker 4, because she's in the new generations, right? So she think that, well, we have everything, we have to use mobile phone most of the time, right? They communicate, the chat and everything to keep up with the news, right? So that's speaker 4. And so let's look at the answer here. So which one would you want to change again? Because for the older generations, they think that they shouldn't. You see here, where is the keywords here? Hard to imagine how they arrange. Hang on. They're always telling me that they grew up in a world without mobile phones and social networking. They manage fine. Growing up in world without mobile phones, the older generation is talking to the younger generation. Hey, we don't need mobile phone. It's fine. So why do you need to use mobile phones so much? Do you understand the underlying motive behind?
yeah,
So because usually when your parents, they see you like having the phone, right? They thought you are, being too excessively use of your mobile, right? In my old time, we never use it. Why do you need to spend so much time on your using your mobile phone? They have this kind of statement behind, right? And then here,
yeah,
until they let me have here you see, but they say they did, because they said, I had so many arguments with them while I was growing up until they let me have my first smartphone. That means they would not even, they would not encourage their child to use it until they gave her the first smartphone. They didn't let me have Snapchat, Instagram, or anything. They didn't let me have this one. What do you understand about this one? Do you understand?
mm,
They didn't let me.
yeah,
That means, okay, I allow you to use smartphone, but you shouldn't use Snapchat or Instagram. Do you understand?
yes.
Okay. So what do you think is the answer?
D,
Yes, donkey, because the older generation, they try to limit teenagers' access to technology, right? And she thinks that limiting them to access to technology is unfair. You got it?
yeah,
Okay, you got it, huh? How about speaker 5? What's the answer?
F,
Yes, enjoys being able to contact all friends with the same message at once. Okay, did you hear the word just now mentioned about for more? Did you hear that?
yeah,
For
I think something that
okay,
I not hear.
yeah, FOMO is actually fear of not in the know. FOMO, you can write down fear of missing out. Short form is FOMO. So let's say in terms of talking, right? Let's say in speaking exam or writing exam, right? Maybe I'm not sure, if you are not lucky, they may come up with this word FOMO. What does FOMO means? It's a psychological term that people are fearful of missing out. They are afraid that they are not in the know. They do not want to be left out. I'm not too sure whether you have this syndrome or not. I do. Especially in this digital era, right? Everyone knows about this. Everyone know how to use TikTok. Everyone knows what is TikTok. Everyone knows this and that, right? I had the fear, because if I do not know, people will laugh at me. People will think that, oh, you're outdated, you're obsolete, you are not able to catch up, right? So constantly having the fear of not in the know. I'm not too sure whether you have that kind of syndrome or not. For me personally, I do have, and I'm still trying to overcome it, not letting those phobia of not being able to catch up to overwhelm me. Yeah, because I can catch up, but I do not want myself to be enslaved by the technology. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's called FOMO.
Yeah.
It's a psychological syndrome because I used to like, oh, people is talking about, oh, they were talking about TikTok, they do this, right? How come I don't know? How come I do not know this and that? Certain terms that youngsters are talking about, certain terms. How come you do? What do you mean by blue tick? Or they blue tick you? I do not know what's blue tick. You understand what I mean? So you have to know everything, you see. So that's called the term, the syndrome of, we call it FOMO. All right, fear of not in the know. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, because in the listening exam, right, they speak quite fast, especially they have they can have the robot, you know. I'm not too sure whether they use another type of we call it a chat robot, right, to do the speaking. They use a foreigner's voice to mimic foreigner's voice and then do the speaking. Is pretty fast. Like the previous one, this one student tell me, he told me that it's so fast to a point that he couldn't even figure out. He said it's not normal. How can people speak that way? So it's too bad, you see. So you have to be very careful in terms of listening. You have to be for full focus. Your mind shouldn't be like dwelling here and there. Oh, just now I forgot this one, this now. If you pass, you pass. You understand what I mean? So you have to focus all the time. And also figure out when you read the options, right, you have to figure out the STEM keywords first, finding out what's the keywords. So when you listen, you'll be able to be more focused. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Now, this one, they will also let you read it once. They give you the short time, but the technique for this part is you figure out the answer first. Do you understand what I mean? You read once, you read out the gist, and then you figure out the gist, you read the text once, and then you figure out, hey, what should be the answer. You guess it by yourself. Okay? Because mentally speaking, when you start guessing it, right? So when you started listen, your mind somehow you will navigate to the answer, you see? All right, so now I want you to read out yourself and then you try to guess. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is. You guess first and then I'll type here. Okay, how to improve our memory. So can you read the first paragraph?
The speaker
Oh,
Charles.
sorry. Okay, all right, yes.
The speaker Charles Long explains how to make our
You read out
function.
everything first.
If we want to change how we memorize, it is essential. It is essential that we the process.
Okay,
The
now I want
two
you to
types
here first. Figure out the answer first. The speaker Charles Long explained how to make our function better. If we want to change how we memorize, it is essential. Do you understand the meaning essential?
important.
Yes, it's important. It's necessary. Essential means necessary. So you write down the meaning. Essential means necessary. Essential means necessary, important and necessary. Okay. What the process? You look at the title, how to improve our memory. It has to do with what? It has to do with what? Memory.
To memorize, to remember.
Memory comes from where? Is it heart, from hands? What?
Our brain.
Okay, brain. Okay. All right. Now I want you to look at 21. Can you guess your answer? Just guess only. Right or wrong doesn't matter. Guess only. To make our what?
To make our brain.
Our way function. Thinking function. To make our. Look at the title.
Memory. So it's
memory. Maybe or maybe not. Never mind. It's okay. So you say memory. Okay, it's all right. So I just type out here. How about 22? It's essential that we.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Most likely, right? Okay. Next paragraph. Can you read?
The two types of memories that people have are short-term memory and memory, but these ideas are not wholly distinct from one another. Whether we are attempting to remember something from 10 years ago or just an hour ago, we use of both forms of memories when we wish to organize our thoughts and retain information.
Okay, which words you do not understand? Wholly, this one? Wholly, not
yeah.
wholly. Wholly means totally. So write down totally. Wholly. Okay, totally. Wholly means totally. Okay, whole comes from the word W-H-O-L-E. Do you understand? Oh, this one. Okay. Any other words? Distinct. Do you understand the meaning distinct?
No.
Different. Okay, so you write down different. Try to use those vocab you learn in terms of your speaking. Okay. Distinct means different. Wholly means totally different from one another. Okay. Any other words?
No.
How about attempting?
Trying.
Yes,
trying.
trying. So instead of keep saying trying, why not we use attempting? Okay. It will boost up your marks. Any other words? No, yeah? Okay, now I want you to figure out the answer. 23, what do you think is the answer?
Long term.
Okay, so I'll just type long term here. I'm not too sure, huh? Later we listen. Okay, and how about 24? We use what? We are attempting to remember, whether we are attempting to remember something from 10 years ago or just an hour ago, we use what of both forms of memory when we wish to organize our thoughts and retain information. What's the meaning of retain?
How to say that?
Retain means to keep.
Okay.
To keep, to conserve, to keep, 保留. Okay, to conserve, to keep. Okay, retain, 留住，留在你的脑里面. Okay, all right. So can you guess, simply guess 24? What do you think is the answer?
I cannot guess.
Okay, never mind. So we can skip, okay? We don't want to waste the time. So when you read, you quickly guess the answer, but don't dwell on it too long because you won't have enough time for that. Okay, next one. Can you read out?
There are several things we can do to enhance our memory. Firstly, we can use words to remember a concept or an idea. The words must be something you are familiar with and come into contact with on a daily. Another tactic we might employ is, so in order to remember something, you must picture it in your mind. Next, one of the earliest and most powerful memory techniques for learning new idea is, last but not least, teach whether it is that we want to remember, share the knowledge with someone else. Even better, record yourself teachings and then watch the video through the material again. Teachings help to understanding.
Okay, all right. So let's try to guess the words. All right. Enhance, what's the meaning enhance?
I don't know.
Enhance means boost. Write it down. Yeah. Enhance means boost. To 促进, to promote our memory, to boost our memory. Several things that can help boost up our memory. Okay. Firstly, we can use word what? To remember a concept or an idea. Concept means 一个概念. A concept, 一个概念. Okay, or we call it idea. All right. So what do you think? We can use word.
I cannot guess.
Okay, never mind. Let's move on to the next one. The word must be something you are familiar with. Familiar with means you familiar, 熟悉 and come into contact with on a daily
daily life,
huh?
daily life,
On a daily life.
or
Usually
daily activities.
on a daily activity. Okay, you want to put daily activity. Usually this daily comes together with that one often time. Okay, often. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what on a daily what.
Okay.
Yeah. On a daily 一个 it means regularly. It means regularly on a daily what? Okay, never mind. It's okay. Start with I don't want to tell you. If I tell you, then never mind. Later you listen. Okay.
Okay.
Another tactic. Tactic. What does that mean?
The technique.
Technique or with another technique or another method. You can say technique or method. Tactic. Tactic means technique or method. Another method we can use, or we can tactic is also called way. Okay, why I cannot move this one? It's just okay. Tactic means way or method we might employ. Employ, do you understand the meaning employ?
Yes.
Employ. Can you guess?
Employ means I do something.
We use, okay? We use, all right? You can guess even without knowing the meaning by itself, right? You look at the sentence, right? The method we use, the technique, the tactic we use, right? You can guess it one, okay? Another method we might use is employ. If you use employ, of course, your marks will be higher in terms of speaking, okay? We might employ is what? What do you think? So if you cannot guess, then you read the second sentence, then that will give you ideas. So in order to remember something, you must picture it in your mind. So what is the term that has to do with picturing it in your mind? Can you guess? Something you want to see that kind of thing, see.